Welcome back on the AM show. Now, as promised, we get into that thorny issue. Time and again, you have UTAG, TUTAG, other institutions go up in arms against government on the grounds that they are not being treated well. They are not being treated fairly. In fact, there have been stories about some of these institutions of higher learning wanting to recruit people from across Africa, across the globe, and their hands are tied because they cannot match the requirements that these, skilled personnel have from other parts of the world. But the latest in respect of UTAG and TUTAG wanting to lay their tools down has to do with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. They've been interacting with them, but now things have come to a head. There is a bit of a standoff. That is why this morning we have an interaction with Professor Mamadou Akudugu. He is the University Teachers Association of Ghana National President. He also is with the University for Development Studies in Tamale. Prof, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much
good morning.
for joining us this morning.
Nice to meet you.
I have to commend Prof because it took him quite a lot. Things happened this morning, but he still made it here into the studio. We salute you, sir. Thank you.
Salute you too.
Thank you for your time. Just walk us through what has been happening. We know for many years, in fact, in recent years, UTAG has gone on strike a number of times. But just walk us through this latest development. For how many months have you been engaging the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission? And how did you get to this point?
Good morning to you and Happy New Year to you and to your viewers.
Happy New Year.
We, just by way of putting the whole process into context, UTAG was formed over 50 years ago, and till date we don't have a unified conditions of service.
I see.
That may come as a surprise.
It is.
To many Ghanaians. And so the first attempt to get a unified conditions of service for UTAG members was somewhere, I think 2007 thereabout. But it never materialized. Then we started working on it again. Last year, we signed the rules of engagement to go into negotiations on our conditions of service. And that was signed in January. So we submitted our proposals along the line, and then we started the engagement with the government side or our employer through the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. And we just couldn't make significant progress. And so we kept, appealing to government side, issuing communiques and making calls behind the scenes and asking that we need to get this done so that we have the space to focus on our core mandate of teaching, doing research to inform policy and practice, and then community service. All those calls did not seem to yield any serious results, and so we had the unpleasant duty to issue a threat, that a 21-day ultimatum, that if we did not see serious commitment from our employer in terms of getting these matters resolved, we were going to lay down our tools.
And is that the latest? Is that what happened yesterday?
No.
Is it yesterday you gave the ultimatum, or it was before?
Yes, it was before. That was in, I think, actually October.
October.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the National Labour Commission had the case or the cause to invite us with our employer, and then gave us basically 2 weeks to conclude and to report to the commission so that we can make progress. And so the 2 weeks we engaged, and we couldn't still make any significant progress. So as law-abiding employees and people who respect the rule of law and due diligence, we went back to the National Labour Commission and said, okay, All we wanted was to see commitment and seriousness in ensuring that we get these conditions of service negotiations completed and implementation take place from January 2024. And so we needed some more time to engage on some of the issues that were still outstanding. So the National Labour Commission gave us some, I think, 3 more weeks to engage. And so we came back and nothing, no much progress was still made. And so we went back to the National Labour Commission, and again, some extra time was given. And they gave also, we reported that we were going to meet yesterday to look at all the outstanding issues that we're supposed to negotiate on. Then, when we met yesterday, one of the critical items on the conditions of service that we wanted to talk about, and in fact is the main thing as far as these negotiations are concerned, is the main thing that our members are looking up to. Fair Wages and Salaries Commission told us that we could not talk about that.
Which is what?
Which is the market premium.
Okay. But this market premium thing has been on the table for a long time.
Thank you for confirming that. It's been on the table for a very long time. It has always been at the heart of all the recent strikes that UTAG went. Mm-hmm. And
but even before you go on, I think it's only fair that you explain to our viewers what exactly is the market premium. Good. So everybody understands.
Good. So basically, the market premium, when we migrated to single spine, we had those salary reforms. Government decided that it was going to place a premium on some of the skills sets that are scarce and people were moving out of the public sector into the private sector, and other, leaving the country in search of better conditions of service. And so government was going to kind of put a premium to attract and retain critical skills that are required in specific sectors.
Can you give us some examples?
Examples like the lecturers, because we are overwhelmed, and many people don't want to come into the lecture theaters because what we take at the end of the month cannot last them for 2 weeks.
And even just to add to this, I remember back in the day, political science department at the University of Ghana, you look at one class, team A, batch A, and it's hundreds, many hundreds. Now, one lecturer is going to have to mark all of these papers, assess all of these, which also impacts, the ability of the lecturer to give off his or her best. So those are some of the things you're talking about, right?
Exactly. And the situation has become, it's now worse. Back in the days that you are talking about, now we are looking at a class that was supposed to be 40, we are talking about 1,000.
A class that was supposed to be about 40.
Like 40, we are talking about 1,000 students, we are talking about 800 and all that. And it's the same lecturer. In fact, in many of the universities, to still ensure that we meet the standards that have been set, and Ghana, our tertiary education is one of the best in Africa. To maintain those standards, they have to divide the same class, as you said, into A, B, C, D. And so the lecturer will have to teach the same course that is 3 credit hours. Instead of teaching it, let's say, once a week, you have to do that once a week 4 times because you have 4 cohorts to handle.
Yeah.
And so it has become simply unbearable. And unfortunately, there's freeze on employment. Since 2020, we've not been able to employ. And so the lecturers are simply burned out. And the least we can do is to show some commitment to improving their conditions of service. And as you are aware, recent past, some people, even in Zimbabwe, got appointment and they insulted us because
that was what I was alluding to.
Yes.
That I think lecturer, was it KNUST or something?
KNUST offered,
saying that, look, what you're going to give me is peanuts compared to
what I'm getting there. And that's the point. And so basically, Fair Wages and the employer simply told us that, in 2013, there was a white paper that was issued freezing the market premium to an absolute figure. And so they cannot do anything about it. And we are like, in that same white paper, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is given the responsibility to determine the market premium and the amount to be paid and to which skill sets. Since 2013 that white paper was issued, that determination has not been made. So you are still using the interim market premium, and that interim market premium is indexed to our 2012 salary. Simply put, before we migrated to single spine, university lecturers were paid 200% of their basic salary as professional allowance. Now, to sacrifice and ensure that at least we also make our bit of sacrifice for the good of the country, we agreed that, okay, we will migrate to single spine, but instead of 200%, you give us 114% of our basic salary as market premium. So that 114% was the basis upon which we migrated. And so in 2012, we migrated and were taking, I think we migrated 2011, 2012, thereabout, and we're taking 114% of the basic salary as interim market premium, with the promise that the real market premium will be determined. And so the government issued a white paper in 2013, April 2013, freezing the market premium and converting it from a percentage to an absolute figure. And saying that it has to now be determined, the market premium has to be determined. Well, we think that in the first place, that white paper was a variation of our conditions of service to our disadvantage, which is unfair labor practice. But, well, we have gone past that. But we have to correct the wrong. You cannot continue to depend on something that was not right in the first instance to perpetuate the whole, continue to do the same thing. We said that, okay, assuming that even government said that it's not negotiable and it's supposed to be an absolute figure, it's supposed to be determined by government, yes, that is fine. But go ahead and determine it. If you determine
what is preventing them from giving a determination on that?
I think we have to ask them. That question,
you mean the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission?
Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Because they have the mandate. They are the state institution with their act. They have the mandate to determine the premium and the amount to be paid and who it should be paid to.
Why do you feel they are dragging their feet?
In fact, by practice, they are supposed to conduct labor market survey every 5 years. In 2014, they conducted a labor market survey, and that labor market survey was supposed to be used to determine the critical skills areas and to develop guidelines for determining the market premium. That was never done. They conducted a labor market survey, they kept it aside, and they continued with the status quo. Interim market premium, government white paper, you cannot touch it. In 2019, they were supposed to conduct another labor market survey because every 5 years you are supposed to do it. They didn't do it. So they managed to do it in 2021, but it was reference to 2019. And again, that labor market survey has been kept aside. And we signed, when we went on strike on the same market premium issue, we signed an agreement with government that we were agreeing for you to call, agreeing to call off the strike and for you to do something a bit to cushion us, but with the understanding that you will come out with the guidelines to determine the market premium for implementation from January 2023 or 2020. I think 2023 or 2022, I can't quite remember. But that was never done. As we talk, you still have not been able to make use of that labor market survey, where in 2024, another labor market survey is due because it's every 5 years. So 2014, 2019, 2024, you're supposed to do another labor market survey. And still, no determination has been made. And then we come to talk about...
Are these illegalities being perpetrated, so to speak?
Well, I'm not a legal person or a lawyer, but I think that they are just unfair practices and probably illegal. I don't want to venture into an area that I'm not very conversant with. And I don't want somebody to come and tell me that, oh, if you think it's illegal, go to court. The point is that.
But in any case, these surveys are conducted for a purpose.
Yes.
Including marking up the premium.
Yes.
To ensure that people are getting fair wages.
Exactly.
So if it's been conducted in 2014,
yes,
white paper.
Yes.
2019 it was supposed to happen, it didn't happen. 2021 it was done,
yes,
backdated to 2019,
yes,
and it's still sitting there. And you are looking at the next one.
The next one.
Then means something is obviously wrong.
It's obviously wrong. And so our point is that we cannot continue to suffer your inability to do your work.
You feel the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is failing to do its work?
It's failing to do its work because you are the state institution mandated to determine it. So if you have on how many occasions been not able to do it, and you continue to insist that we should suffer it, it's simply unfair. And you are a Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, we expect you to be fair. And so when you now come and tell us that, oh, this is not on the table for discussions, we cannot talk about it because there's a government white paper that freezes it, and that has made it out of, is the prerogative of government to determine it and all that. Yes, if you have a prerogative to do something, do it, because people are affected.
Let me ask you though, when it comes to the numbers, I'm just curious. You mentioned a class that should have taken, a lecturer who should have been looking at 40 is now looking at about 1,000 students. That is a gargantuan, rise in the numbers. But then I would ask you, do you think this is also happening because of free SHS? The numbers that are, and I want to take it from the standpoint that, of course, if the numbers increase, the institutions will also have to up the ante in terms of the numbers they can receive.
Yes.
So is it that we are making provisions at the secondary level, but not making provisions at the tertiary level for these? What is the case?
That is exactly the point. Because, for example, this year, you can imagine the performance of the students in the secondary schools. And all these people are supposed to get to the end point, which is the tertiary education institutions, so that they can be, finalized, excuse my word, they can be trained with skills that they can get into the job market and make that impact. And the university's infrastructural development has not gone up to in anticipation of the basic level, the broadening of the basic level that now creates more demand. And in terms of human resource, the number of lecturers still remain basically the same. And so that is the point. There are two ways. You either, when you are expanding at the base, you should be thinking about what happens at the top. But if we expand at the base and then we limit the top, and one of the things that we have also been concerned with is for example, some of the professional programs that students want to do in the universities. You have over, say, 1,000 students applying to do pharmacy. And then you have the professional body, I think the Allied Health Council, or I can't quite remember, or the Pharmacy Council, saying that you can only admit 75.
Wow.
What do you do?
Out of 1,000?
Out of 1,000. What do you do with
That's less than 10%.
That's less than even 10%.
That's about 7%, actually.
Yes. So what do you do with the rest? And you have increased the base. You have students have performed. They are qualified.
So now I get exactly what you mean. Because of these numbers coming through, because the admissions are getting bigger, so you're going to get more numbers, and you're still picking only a handful.
Only a handful.
Which means that you're going to have many more of these people who have been adequately trained but can't make it.
Exactly.
Of course, they may also tell you that, well, if you've been adequately trained, you should pass the exam, right?
Yes. So exactly the point. And so it's a serious challenge, but probably that is for another maybe conversation that to be had. But the key point is that the university lecturers, and I'm talking on behalf of the technical universities and on behalf of the traditional universities, we simply are not interested in just holding the employer for ransom. We have given enough time to get the issues resolved. You cannot be negotiating on one thing for more than 1 year. We were expected, as I said, to complete this thing by January so that implementation will take effect from by December, so the implementation will take effect from this
January.
From January. We are still here. We have to leave, and my colleagues, the technical universities and the traditional universities, we have to leave what we are supposed to be doing. Students are reporting. Some of us are heads of department. There are deans of faculties. They are supposed to be looking into these students reporting and all that. But we have to leave that to come for a meeting, to negotiate, and come and you tell us.
I was on the campus of the University of Ghana yesterday, and yes, students are reporting. And you have staff doing all kinds of things.
Yes. So we have the mandate to make sure that these students, especially those who are coming for the first time, are properly taken care of, to settle and be able to transition from being with their families to coming to now be on in their own and all that. We have that responsibility. And so when you keep, delaying us and keep inviting us to meetings that don't, yield significant results and dragging the whole process, you are creating problems across the cane. And that
in all of this, I don't know whether Benjamin Arthur is still head of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission.
He's a CEO.
Okay, so he's still the CEO.
Yes, please.
Have you met him personally on these matters? Has he been a crucial part of these negotiations or interactions?
He has been the one we are negotiating with.
He himself?
Yes, he himself.
Okay.
Yes. He was at the
what has been his posturing? What has been his approach to these negotiations? What is, from where you sit as national president of UTAG, and of course you say you are speaking for the technical universities as well, that is TUTAG.
Yeah.
How do you feel in terms of his actions and maybe inactions?
I think that, first of all, whatever comment that I'm going to make is not on the person of Engineer Atta.
Okay.
I want to make that comment on the institution.
Okay.
And so that when he listens to whatever I'm going to say, he shouldn't.
He doesn't think it's a personal attack.
A personal attack on him.
Right.
It's about the institution. The institution by law is the one that is supposed to be able to commit government in terms of these conditions of service and salaries and all the rest of it. We just want to tell the commission to assert itself and do what it has been asked to do as by law. Because the instances of, I have to go and consult, it's just becoming too much. And those that you are supposed to go and consult, they are also supposed to be at the meeting. So if they are refusing to come to the meetings, and then each time we have to travel all the way and come, and then you have to say, okay, I can only do this, so the rest I have to go and consult. I can only do this, the rest I have to come and consult. And you keep protracting, and we are not able to get a resolution within the shortest possible time. I think that something is wrong somewhere. And so the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, they will have to assert themselves and either, say that, okay, the law says that we are the people that have the mandate to negotiate on salaries and all that, but practically we are not able to do it, so let's have a broader conversation about it. Or they should insist to go by the law and get things done.
Do you then, by extension, do you feel the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has not lived up to its role, has not lived up to expectation, at least as far as your issues are concerned?
That is the feeling of the over 8,000 members that I talk for. They have that feeling that Fair Wages and Salaries Commission have failed them. Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is not fair as it's supposed to, as suggested in its name. And Fair Wages and Salaries Commission cannot be trusted. That's the feeling. And
it cannot be trusted.
Yes, and they can talk to any of the UTAG members on UTAG or TUTAG members across the campuses. And one of the things that the subculture that is being cultivated across the universities, and which is a very bad thing that we try to stop, is that the feeling that you cannot make any significant progress just by engaging without going on strike. And so when you have a situation where members have that feeling that, look, Master, you are wasting your time. What you are asking for, you won't get it unless you twist some arms. Unless you twist some arms. It's a serious national issue that they have to deal with.
All right.
It's bad.
We'll get to the standpoint of the industrial action in a bit. I want to save that for last and what this could mean. No one wants to hear of that. You remember in the the 90s at some point, even the 80s and 90s, and constant strikes, students never getting to graduate. It could take you many more years to complete a course, a program. But I have this message coming through. Kay says, I don't think enough is being done to aid both the secondary institutions and universities with a surge in the number of students. Ben, I had to buy a bunk bed for my daughter when she went to SHS this year. If I didn't do that, she would have to put her mattress on the floor and sleep. The government needs to up its game in providing the enabling environment for both the teaching and learning atmosphere. Is this something that resonates with you?
Completely. And the truth is that you will do that. The student goes and, yesterday I was talking to a colleague, the student goes and get aggregate 7 and cannot get admission into the university to do medicine because,
yeah, but that's the placement system, the CSSPS. So, are those problems you have with this?
No, we don't do the placement system. It's the individual universities that do the admission.
Right.
But simply because we did not invest in the infrastructure to expand and also to recruit, to expand what the universities can handle. You have all these students qualified and they're not able to get admissions. And so this person is put in. You suffer like that. You have to buy for.
He has to buy a bunk bed.
And
a bunk bed.
Yeah, and in some instances, people have to be cooking and sending food to their wards and all that. But they will do all that and come and they are qualified to go to the university, and then it becomes another problem. And so it is something that resonates. And the halls, the university halls, let's just go and check. At the University of Ghana, KNUST, UDS, all the places. Many of the students have to rely on private hostels because we can't accommodate them. Let's say that is good for private sector. But then the lecture theaters. And you go and then now, when I was a student, lectures will start from say 8 and they'll close by 5. Now you have to start lectures in some cases from 4 a.m. And there are lectures that in fact will close at 10 p.m. because you have the same lecture theater that has to be used by 5 different...
For multiple streams.
Multiple streams.
I get it. But what has been the consequence of this in terms of the attrition rate when it comes to lecturers? Obviously, if the conditions are not so good, and we know that a lot of teachers, even what do you call them, those trained by the colleges of education, the trained teachers are leaving. Once they get the license, they head to the UK. You remember last year the talk about 16,000 haven't applied to the UK teaching system, 10,000 approved, and more getting approved by the day. What has this meant to the university teachers and the technical university teachers when it comes to loss of skilled manpower?
A number of our colleagues are leaving. They are leaving. I cannot provide the statistics now, but even some of them, when they go for further studies, they don't come back. A good number of them don't come back. And the reason is that when I was doing my PhD in the UK, my monthly stipend was more than my salary when I came back as a student.
Your monthly stipend while you were doing your PhD. Yeah, we know that a lot of these programs are sponsored by even the Ivy League institutions. They will sponsor you full scholarships and the rest, right?
Yes.
So you were getting more from there as a student.
As a student than coming back as a lecturer. And so and in fact, a number of us who approach, or you can stay and you can, even the average job that I'll get, I'll still be better off, right? But we had to come back because we had that responsibility, we had that duty to come back. So only a few of them, or a number of them that think that way and say, okay, at least the country has invested in me, have given me the opportunity to come, and whatever I learn, I need to bring it back and see how to support it. But lately, a number of them are not coming back. And especially those who go to Canada and those other places, and imagine places like China and the Asian tigers, they simply don't come back. And some of them who come back, can you imagine somebody leaving the university as a dean just to join a non-university university institution? And that is because as a dean, or a vice dean or head of department, what you are getting is far less than what you get when, for example, I move to some of these commissions. And so it's a problem. And unfortunately, it takes a long time to train people to that level. For example, to become a senior lecturer, 6 years. And then you need another 3-4 years to become an associate professor. Then you need another 3-4 years to become a professor. And that is overall about 6, 4, 4, that's what, 14 years. And then you train to that level, and then the person has to leave.
It means they carry away a lot of expertise. They take it all away.
Take it away.
And it also means that while you here are boxed into that corner, you also don't have the capacity of bringing others from outside to come and help because you don't have the pay power.
You can't. You can't. I mean, recently I was in the US for a fellowship for a number of months, and basically it's not possible, except they want to do charity work. It's not possible to say that, oh, there's this person in the US university that is doing so well that you want to bring the person to a Ghanaian university and all that, except they want to do charity work, except they've gotten a big grant funded by international institution that will provide them some extra thing that will make the difference. You are not going to get it. But the key point is that we really need to do something about the university lecturer, because they are the intellectual hub of the country. And if you treat your intellectuals the way that we are being treated, you are simply not creating the environment that will provide for better improvement, general improvement in across the country. And that should be changed.
All right. Hold for me, Prof. Guess who has joined the conversation? Wild guess.
Is it Engineer Arthur?
Engineer Arthur has joined the conversation. Engineer Ben Arthur, he is CEO of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. A very good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. And good morning to Professor Mahmoud.
Good morning, my engineer and CEO.
Right. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I'm sure you followed the conversation. You've heard a few things that have been asserted, and among which I'm going to reiterate. If I err anywhere, Prof, you can always bring me back in line. He says the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has not lived up to expectation, that the people he represents, the teachers, and he's also here speaking on behalf of TUTAG, that they feel you've not been fair to them. Your commission is supposed to be the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. They say you've not been fair to them. And this bit about the market premium, white paper after white paper, 2014, what was supposed to happen in 2019 did not happen after 5 years. It happened in 2021 to be backdated to 2019. All of that. Just walk us through what exactly is going on.
Okay, so thank you very much. A quick one here. We commenced negotiations with UTAG last year when Professor Mahmoud and about 99% of the people we are currently engaging were not part of those groups that we engage. At the very tail end of the negotiation, then they had an election and had different leaders. Of course, some of them have had exposure, a couple of them had been part of the previous negotiations here and there. It was never an item on the table for negotiation. As far as...
What was never an item? The market premium?
Please, you're giving me the opportunity to speak.
Oh, no, I'm just asking you for clarity. I'm asking, what was not on the table? Is it the market premium?
Yes, the market premium was never part of the proposal that was brought to us.
Okay.
Simply because we have a standing agreement signed on the 3rd of March 2022, which the parties, we can make copies available to you, which the parties agreed, government and UTAG agreed that because of the white paper, which makes it not negotiable, we could look at an alternative, and that was done. You see, that was done simply because we saw the need to try and do something about the lecture fee. That was done. In fact, the gentleman's agreement, according to them, was that we were supposed to have withdrawn that benefit after a year. But we are in the second year, and government has shown good faith by keeping that OTS, we call it Online Teaching Support Allowance, still there, which is being still drawn. So at the end of the day, when we were just about signing the agreement, then the new executive threw in the request for market premium, and they also brought another request of being given a tax waiver for vehicles. But we told them that when it comes to tax waivers and the rest, it is not within our mandate. It is actually within the mandate of Parliament to do that. So we have demonstrated very good faith. And Prof. Mahmoud will know that we've done our very best as Fairways representing government in this matter. In fact, there were 3 key issues. The payroll items, which was about 98% complete. We wanted to sign off, but they said that no, unless we have finished with the market premium. So that was not done. We also had another payroll items that are from their IGS. We all met and agreed that 31st of January, they will meet, the vice chancellors will meet with their respective UTAG leadership to agree on some figures and make recommendations to Fairways. 31st January has not come, and they signed an agreement to that effect. 31st has not yet come. We went to National Labour Commission, and National Labour Commission gave us an order to engage and to ensure that by 7th of February we would have made progress. 7th of February is nowhere near. We also had an agreement to meet on 26th of January so that we could participate. You know, VCG is leading the discussion on their own conditions of service. That's the non-salary related item, which Fairways has well facilitated this activity. So I do not see why at any point in time a group of people, and this is the first time ever since I came to Fairways, that a group of people have walked out of meetings. And we were surprised because we had 4 items to discuss. We had discussed 2 of them. So to insist that at all costs, a government white paper that freezes the market premium, and the market premium, my good friend, it is a mechanism for an employer, after paying everything, to say that I think I need critical skills in this area, and therefore, on my own, I have put a certain premium just to attract people to that area. So it's not basically an item for negotiation. And let's be told, the white paper is there for everybody, can download it on the internet. Since April 2013, it's been there. Nobody has been able to negotiate on market premium. So we are pleading with our people that somewhat may, we need to sit and engage. So to disengage yourself and now get to media as if that is where we can have the solution. For me, we need to go back to the table. We need to show good faith. And this idea of every now and then, at the slight of whatever proposal that government puts there, you want to go on strike, you want to threaten strike. It's not fair to us also as government.
All right.
We show good faith. Don't forget that this year alone, we have increased pay by 23%. After June, it will go to 25%. So let us not pretend as if government is not doing anything. That is not the case at all. So I'm pleading with my colleagues that the way to go, as National Labour Commission has ordered, let us not disrespect their order. Because at the end of the day, we have to sit down. And that's where the solution is.
All right. If I may.
If you permit me, the critical question that we ask is that our honorable professors, they have taught us to dialogue. Don't they have faith in dialoguing? Is it agitation that they believe in? Obviously, no. So we invite them back. That for me, I will never walk out on anybody at a meeting, no matter how angry I am. I will never do that. So respectfully, we are asking them to come back to the table and engage, because we still have some time to finish off. Now, to disengage yourself means that all the items, the IGF-related items, your own codified conditions of service, how do you go back and engage your management on this? So we need to engage.
All right. I'm not letting go of you yet. I just want to ask a follow-up question. Then I'll bring in Prof for some responses and I'll come back to you. But I'd just like to find out from you. In their statement they put out, they accuse you of bad faith. Now you are saying they should have good faith. Prof, initially, when we started the conversation, he made mention of the fact that it appears for many aspects of our society, if you want action, what his own colleagues have been telling him, you must go on strike, because it appears, like they said, which negotiation goes on for about a year. We can go as far back as 2007.
Hello.
No, please let me land with a question. Then you can answer.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Mr. Arthur?
Yes, I can hear you. I lost a bit of your. But
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you are saying they should demonstrate good faith. I am saying that according to Prof, some of his own colleagues are telling him that the only way to get some action is to go on strike. Now, you also know of the brain drain, everything. They are losing lecturers. They can't bring in lecturers because of, the wage disparities. And the little that they have, many of them are going to, like Prof said, Canada, UK, and the rest. You know of the statistics where 16,000 applied to the UK alone, only last year, with over 10,000 in there. Do you feel, I just want to ask you, do you feel in terms of the premiums, in terms of salaries, our lecturers are getting what they deserve?
Thank you. Let me be very candid with you and all our viewers and listeners. When you do such comparisons, you want to compare Ghana to Canada and UK, you must know that these two countries have different economic abilities. So when you put the context in this premise, you've just lost it. Because these two countries that we are comparing Ghana with have different economies. So that would be very difficult to really.
How about? No. I'm just adding to what you're saying. How about, in recent years, KNUST was trying to get a Zimbabwean lecturer. Zimbabwe. He did not come because he felt our wages were too low.
You've given me a question. Can you permit me to answer?
I am only adding to, you say Canada and UK, and I'm saying, how about Zimbabwe?
You didn't cite Zimbabwe, I'm begging you, please.
We're not adding.
Canada, and these are the issues that you spoke to. You must know that they came with more than 30 items. Government was able to negotiate with them, and we agreed on all of them, with the exception of 2 items that were outstanding. So you cannot conclude anywhere that government is showing bad faith. After all, we were seated, we were still engaged. So when you coerce, when you use intimidation, which is against the tenets of the labor law, and
right.
I say that we need to demonstrate good faith. That is what we need in order to make progress. So there is nothing like government is showing bad faith.
Okay.
Government does not intend to show bad faith, and government is committed in engaging. And we are asking them that this idea of always threatening to go on strike and thinking that it is only when you go on strike that you must be heard. Once we are sitting with you and we are here to you, we are listening to you, and we have done almost all the items, and we are left with 2 key items to go. So I never say that government is not giving you the attention, and therefore it is when you go on strike that you will be heard.
Okay.
We need to dissociate ourselves from chaos and the rest. And I'm pleading with them that the solution lies in engagement.
Okay. Just hold for me, please. Please hold for me, Engineer Arthur. Let me bring in Prof. So he's mentioned, for example, that there were other meetings you should have had 26th of January, 31st of January, 7th of February. Why did you walk out? He says that's the first time he has seen something like that. And he talks about the fact that they've displayed utmost good faith. They even had a gentleman's agreement with you for a year. It's extended into a 2nd year. And it's not within their mandate, some of the things you're asking for. It's within the mandate of the purview of Parliament. How do you respond?
Thank you. And thank you, Engineer, for joining the conversation. First of all, let me say, you said we signed an agreement in 2022, in March 2022, agreeing that because market premium and the rest cannot be, market premium could not be touched, then you were coming on with something, OTSA. And so when we signed that agreement, that should be it. But what was the context within which that agreement was signed? It was signed with the view that you would do the determination of the market premium for implementation starting January 2023. Have that been done? So you don't only talk about the fact that yes, that was agreed as a stop-up gap, and that is why it was for a 1 year. That's why that was supposed to be for a 1 year, because we know that by January 2023, the market premium would have been determined for implementation in that January. So you didn't need OTSA to go beyond 1 year. Is that correct or not? That's the context. And then let me talk about the point that new people came in and therefore they changed things and they brought, please. I don't think that it's an institution. You are dealing with the institution and not the individual. And there is institutional memory. You negotiated with President Solomon Nunu, Professor Solomon Nunu. How many items did you agree on? When we took over, how many items did we conclude on? And we were part of that negotiation that you had with the previous executive. We were part. I attended those negotiation meetings. The fact that I was not in the controlling seat doesn't mean that we have not been part of it. We know how the whole thing started. All the negotiations that we have had. I have been a member of the National Executive Council of UTAG since 2019.
Okay.
And all these negotiations are done by the National Executive Council of UTAG. So don't see us, because you are seeing somebody for the first time, you think that the person have no idea what has been happening. We know. And we have the recourse for that.
So he's saying that come back to the negotiating table. Are you going to do that, or are you going to bypass the subsequent or the other meetings you should have had and embark on an industrial action, a strike? What's going to be the next move?
The point is that our members have not endorsed us to go on industrial action. But that is possible. And that may be on the table, what is happening now. And we are ready to engage.
So it's a possibility?
It's a possibility. We are ready to engage. We are ready. If Engineer Atta called me today and say, through my consultation and those things, we think that you should come back. Let's talk.
But he just said that they want you back at the negotiating table.
Give us, he's just saying it here, saying that we should come back on the negotiation table on matters that cannot be handled at the negotiation table. It's the same matters that made us to walk out. If he's ready to handle that on the negotiation table now, let us talk. Let us.
Engineer Arthur, are you ready to look at the market premium and the other issues now?
Hello. My good friend, Prof, and his constituents. The stress of if it is not market premium, then we are not sitting down. I think we need to go past that. Because the original proposal that was brought never included market premium. But of course, it doesn't also prevent you from talking about it. But we make some substantial gains that we think that even as we continue to engage, there is also the need to benefit from the ones that we have agreed to by signing off, which will continue to plead with them that, look, your members are also waiting to get benefit of the ones that we have concluded on. There are many more IDF-related issues that I think the CPGs need to engage and bring us the recommendations. So when you disengage, that makes it problematic. We already set up a technical committee involving UTAG, VCG, GTAG, fair wages, and other bodies to also work on their non-salary related conditions also, which I think is the first of its kind. That we've made a lot of progress in that area. We don't have to throw away the bathwater with the car. We shouldn't be doing that. So we are open for dialogue.
So engineer, please. What you also...
We are pleading with them that...
Right.
As far as fair wages is concerned, 2013, when the white paper...
Engineer, I beg of you, because of time.
They themselves brought some suggestions that then they want to appeal to government to look at the white paper, which I think that was a very nice suggestion. But to say that now you no longer want to pursue that option that you gladly suggested, but you want to go and, you want to lay down your tools. I think we should all be
okay, so just to clarify, what you are saying is you want them to come back to the drawing board, to the negotiating table, but the market premium still remains off the table. That's what you're saying.
For us, we could have said that it has never been part of your proposal, and therefore we don't want to listen to it. But
are you willing to consider it?
Hello?
Are you willing to consider it?
Hello? When you say consider, it is not on this radio that we consider or disconsider. So please, let us not go there. There is a need for us to get back to the negotiating table in good faith.
All right.
Prof and his team will know that even when we were extremely tired, there are days that we have had meetings 7 hours and beyond.
Okay, all right.
So we continue to demonstrate good faith.
Prof, what is your response to that? And then we'll cap off the conversation.
First of all, my response is that we have shown good faith over the years. In 2019, we brought in non-basic to augment market premium. In 2022, as the agreement you are talking about, the same market premium. So the market premium has been on the table. And in fact, when we went to National Labour Commission instructed that it should be on the table.
Instructed whom? Or instructed which outfit? The Fair Wages and Salaries Commission?
Yeah, because we have a list of items that were supposed to be negotiated. So for what National Labour Commission indicated that, okay, it should be part of the things that should be talked about, because you cannot pick and leave some other thing when you are talking about the whole document. So you shouldn't come here and continue to say that it has not been part of the negotiation. It has not been, because people went on strike because of that. In 2021, the one that we signed this thing was about market premium. How then do you say that it was not part of the negotiation?
So tell me, with at least what we've heard this morning, if the premium, okay, is not on the table, does that mean your membership will not be willing to go back to any negotiations?
Well, yesterday we walked out because they said it was not on the table.
The market premium.
The market premium was.
You stand by that?
So we still, as we stand now, as we talk now, we still stand by what we worked out for. And so.
Hello.
Please let him land. Please let him land.
Yeah. Please, that is incorrect. We never said it's not on the table. We put them the constraints that we have with the government wide paper, how we should deal with the matter. Let's state the fact.
Okay, so is it on the table?
Yeah, the National Labour Commission asked us to go and engage on the matter, but you see, this is negotiating.
Yes, so if you now come and say it's not on the table.
Hello, a lot of the issues that they brought have been handled. And in negotiations, you don't go with a fixed arm. I mean, with your fixed arm to say that everything that you put there, you are taking it back. It doesn't happen like that.
But they are saying that this is a crucial matter. Even if other things will not happen, they say this is crucial.
So that stands for engagement. It is only engagement. When you decide to walk out, it's a huge statement that you are making that you don't want to engage.
No,
So we're asking them to come back to the table for us to engage.
Well, are you coming back?
They should formally inform us if they formally
is the way forward.
If they formally, because we know that even if you go on strike, at the end of the day, you still have to go back to the negotiating. We know that. But the point is that when we are going back, let's go back with good faith. Let's go back with mutual respect for each other. Right. Let's go back with that level of trust.
Do you feel disrespected by the Fair Wages?
We feel disrespected. We feel not being taken seriously.
Okay, all right.
That's how we feel.
We have to go, but I want to be fair, give you, Engineer Arthur, 30 seconds. We have to go. Our time is up. Final words?
Yeah, my final word is that the employer and the employees need each other, and we need to move this country forward. We would have to engage, no matter the circumstances. Sitting down and join will help us. And definitely, we use some results. In times past, we have made huge progress.
Okay.
By time. So we should all engage in good faith. And
all right.
We're asking our colleagues to help us with.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer, for joining the conversation. Engineer Ben Arthur is CEO, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. He joined the conversation midway. And of course, we've been having an interaction with the National University Teachers Association of Ghana president in the person of Professor Mamadou Akudugu. He also has been speaking here on behalf of TUTAG, the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana. This is that conversation we've brought to you. Of course, the brain drain continues ad nauseum, if you like, but how do we stem the tide of that? But coming up next, after the break, we'll also be going through data derived from Ghana's 2021 population and housing census, indicating that a significant number of individuals have divorced. I'm talking about 553,065 individuals and another 405,090 who have gone through separation. The question is, what exactly is happening? What accounts for the disparities? That conversation up next on the AM Show. Do say.